Bonjour à tous et bienvenue dans cette interview. On vous fait souvent des interviews le mercredi, enfin on essaye d'en faire le plus régulièrement possible, des fois en live et puis des fois enregistré parce qu'on n'a pas la chance de pouvoir avoir les artistes et les magiciens toujours au bon moment. Vous l'avez vu juste au-dessus, aujourd'hui on va interviewer Adrian Vega qui a sorti The Polizza. C'est pas sa dernière sortie mais on en reparlera après. The Polizza c'est le gros coup de cœur de toute l'équipe et le gros best-seller de cette fin d'année et on accueille aujourd'hui Adrian Vega. Bonjour.
Hello, how are you?
Hola.
Hey.
Merci.
Hola, I didn't understand anything. But I hope you were saying good things.
I'm always saying good things about magicians, especially you, because the magic you produce is very good and very worker, and we like that kind of stuff at Magic Dream, but we will talk about that later. On va parler des créations d'Adrian juste un petit peu après, mais comme d'habitude avec nos interviews, on essaye d'en apprendre un peu plus sur les artistes. So Adrian, I will ask you a question in English. You can answer in English and just try to pause in your answer so I can translate for magician. Okay?
Okay, perfect. I got it. I can do it in Spanish if you want. Maybe they understand.
No. Maybe I won't understand, unfortunately.
Yeah, first, thank you. Thank you so much for this. It's a pleasure for me to be here sharing my magic, sharing our passion together. So yeah, thank you for your support always.
You're welcome. And can you maybe introduce yourself a bit? Like when did you start? Why did you start? And what was the early stages of magic in your life?
Yes, of course. So I am Adrian Vega. I am all the way from Spain. And I was in magic when I was maybe 9, 10. Maybe it's the same history as a lot of magicians. But in my case, it was here in Spain when I discovered magic, thanks to the master of the master, that is Juan Tamarit, right? Okay. Juan Tamarit. So he was, and he is very famous here in Spain and in all the magic community around the world. But in Spain, he was very famous, so I saw him performing on TV. And when I was super young, I wanted to learn magic. No, I thought that they had special powers, right? But I finally looking for that magician. No? In that moment, I didn't have internet, so because I am not super young, so I find in a library a small book of Juan Tamarit, and I discovered that he had his daughter. So he had a school in Madrid. So when I was 12. I started learning magic from Tamarit in Madrid here. So I was so lucky that I could learn magic directly from him when I was a kid, right?
Okay, let me just translate this part. So the idea is that... l'idée plutôt, excusez-moi, j'étais parti en anglais. Il a commencé la magie vers 8-9 ans, un petit peu de manière classique. Il a découvert la magie de Juan Tamarit à la télé. Il vient d'Espagne, donc évidemment Juan Tamarit qui est un magicien connu et reconnu en Espagne. Et du coup, comme il n'y avait pas Internet à l'époque, il a découvert dans un livre, dans une bibliothèque de sa ville, que Juan Tamarit avait donné des cours à Madrid. Et à partir de l'âge de 12 ans, il a pris des cours avec Juan Tamarit à Madrid. And then, what happened after your 12 years?
Exactly. So, yes, after that, I studied there, no, and I learned a lot about magic, but I learned how to respect this art, no, how to love it. So, for me, this was the most important thing that I learned from that school, no. So after that, I was sure that this was my passion. I wanted to become a professional magician. So I started doing shows, no, any kind of shows like birthdays, small shows for families, no, wherever we do. And after a few years, maybe when I was 22, almost 10 years ago, I compete in Spain in the most important competition in Spain. So I won, and after I won that, I continued my career. So now we can translate that, and I will continue because we have a few more years.
En gros, après ses 12 ans, il a travaillé à l'école, il a appris à l'école de Juan Tamarit. Il a pas non seulement appris la magie, mais aussi comment la respecter et comment aimer l'art de la magie. Et c'est pour lui aussi important que d'apprendre des tours. Ensuite, il a continué à apprendre et surtout à faire des petits spectacles jusqu'à ses 22 ans. Donc, spectacles anniversaires, des spectacles privés. Et à partir de 22 ans, il a fait une compétition en Espagne, il a gagné. Et c'est ce qui a lancé sa carrière qui continue jusqu'à maintenant.
Yeah, so after that, no, this was a big opportunity for me to keep performing and doing magic for magician. Even I compete in different parts of the world, and until in like a 7 years, 6 ago, I meet Chris Angel. I'm sure you already know Chris Angel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he liked my magic and he hired me for being a consultant in Las Vegas and for his show called The Supernaturalist that we did a USA tour for a few years. So this was a great jump for me, no? Doing
Yes.
my career was very natural, no? Doing small shows, then compete in competition in Spain, then in Europe, then in USA, then working in Las Vegas for this guy and for a huge company, no? So this was like a very natural way, and until today, and now I am sharing all my money. I am keep working and doing shows, so I am so happy for
Ok.
these years.
Donc en gros, ce qui s'est passé, c'est qu'il a travaillé avec, donc comme il explique, c'est que sa progression, elle est naturelle. D'abord, c'est l'apprentissage, ensuite c'est les spectacles, ensuite c'est les compétitions, Espagne, Europe, États-Unis. Ensuite, il a l'occasion de travailler avec Chris Angel à Las Vegas, qui le prend comme consultant sur son show Supernaturalist. Et du coup, bah, le show est incroyable. D'ailleurs, ceux qui ont eu la chance d'aller le voir à Vegas le savent. Et derrière, bah, maintenant, il continue à faire des spectacles, il continue à promouvoir sa magie, à travailler en tant que consultant. So that's what you do today, is like you're consulting, you're creating magic, and you're doing shows.
Exactly, but the main part of me after all of that I told you, then was pandemic, right? COVID-19. So that is the ending of that part of my life. But I mean, the main part of my job is doing shows. Even I do consultant for other magicians. I create magic for other magicians, and I share with the community. My main thing is still now, no, after all this crazy moment, is doing shows, no? And the main reason that I create magic is because I perform a lot. Because sometimes all my ideas or my interpretation are because I need something for some job. I need something for my style, for my different shows that I perform, and for that reason, I need to think about that. And after a lot of time and performance, I decide to share that with the community, right?
Ok. Donc en gros, à chaque fois qu'il a besoin d'une idée ou en tout cas qu'il a une idée et qu'il a besoin d'un matériel qui n'est pas accessible, il la fabrique, il la crée lui-même. Et du coup, c'est cet engrenage, c'est cette façon de penser qui l'a amené à consulter à faire du consulting pour d'autres magiciens. And since when did you start creating tricks like this?
So well, when I was almost performing, no, I remember the most important creation moment, no, more or less in my year was the first time that I compete in this national competition, no, because I wanted to create a 10-minute ad, right, 10 minutes for a competition ad that with all original things, no, or at least my personal touches from different tricks. So in that moment, I spent months trying to create different tricks, different ideas. That one of them was in the competition. A lot of them, I didn't use it for the competition, but I start using in my shows. So in that moment is when the creativity comes because I need it. No, the same that I told you before. No, because in that moment I need to create something. I decide to spend time trying to create something. But the most important for me is not that moment, is when I start performing that ideas. So I listen a lot to my audience, and that is the moment when I say, okay, this idea was good, so now I feel good sharing that with the community, because it's an idea that I was performing for years, no? So depending on the trick, they are ideas that I maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, so it's depending on the trick, but that is the most important for me. It's not an idea, oh, it's great. No, it's an idea that I perform, I did, and I can hear the audience, so I decide that it's a good idea to share with my peers.
Okay. So I'll translate. Excusez-moi.
It's a lot.
No, it's okay. It's like the Spanish culture. No worries. Il parle beaucoup les Espagnols, mais c'est super intéressant à chaque fois. Du coup, il a commencé à créer sur sa première compétition. Et il voulait 10 minutes de spectacle qui était original, qui venait de lui. Il y a beaucoup de choses qu'il n'a pas utilisées, il a travaillé pendant des mois, mais il a commencé à utiliser ces idées-là aussi dans ses spectacles et dans ses prestations. Et pour lui, un tour qui est travaillé, c'est aussi un tour qui a des retours du public. C'est pas simplement quelque chose que vous allez faire, mais quelque chose que vous allez recevoir. Et du coup, ces retours lui permettent de conditionner, de voir si une idée est intéressante à publier et à produire pour les magiciens. Ceux qui ne connaissent pas la magie d'Adrian Vega, il faut savoir que toutes ces créations, notamment The Polizza, Dextab, Just the Soul, etc., sont des effets qui ont été travaillés et on sent le côté worker derrière. C'est pas un gimmick qui a été sorti pour sortir un gimmick. Ça a été travaillé, il y a une routine, il y a vraiment une base de worker derrière. Donc c'est super intéressant. Maybe we can talk about your releases. Maybe start with Polizza because that's the one we have translated. Well, you help us. Well, we help you.
No, you help us.
Yes, that's.
We work together.
Yes, it's a teamwork. So we published this in French. And how did you get the idea for Polizza? What was the starting point of it?
Yeah, so first I am so happy. So thank you again for your support. I am so happy that we could release this in French. So thank you for all French magicians around the world for the idea. So the first idea was because the classic insurance trick that I am sure that maybe a lot of magicians we already know is the trick idea is the spectator take a card and then you try to find the card, you fail, no? And then you take an insurance card that you are opening with all the lines, and when you open the big paper, is a big image of the selected card, no? of the card. So I remember that I learned that when I was starting in Magic in a DVD from Michael Lamar, that he was doing that in the AC Card Miracles or something like that. And I was doing that in my beginnings, no? When I was starting, because it was just a force and fun trick and that's it, no? But after years, sorry?
It's a fun reveal, but...
Exactly. But that was what happened when I say, but in the trick I am promised that I am finding the card, but I never find the card. I only show an image and it's great. But in my case, I say, okay, I want to really find the card. So I was starting with that idea, no, that the insurance can't really find the card. So I was starting with that. I was playing with different lines, with different handlings for how to do that nice and faster and commercial and practical. So I was trying different ideas, different load. No, I don't want to say a lot, but different ideas to do the trick. And after years, no, because it was a natural progress. Because maybe one day I had an idea, but then I keep doing the whole trick. One day I try one idea with the same plot, and after years I finally use what you have in your hands. So now I decide to share with the community because I am really proud of that. And even when I show this idea to Michael Lamar, Michael Lamar, that was the magician that I learned the main trick. So he loved it. Even he gave us a quote. No, we have a quote from Michael Lamar in this product.
That's true.
So I am so proud, and it's like after
put it like here. The quote.
Yeah, I didn't put it. For the next
it's approved. Yes, it's approved by Michael Lamar, but it's very good.
It's approved by.
En gros, pour The Polizza, il y a le tour de la police d'assurance qui est classique, qu'il a appris d'ailleurs dans un DVD de Michael Lamar qui s'appelait Classic Miracle, quelque chose comme ça. Mais en fait, le tour classique de la police d'assurance, vous forcez une carte, vous la retrouvez sur le même type de papier avec toutes ces sortes de blagues. Mais à la fin, c'est juste une photo, un dessin de la carte, et c'est pas vraiment la carte du spectateur. Du coup, il a cherché pendant des années, parce que lui, c'est vraiment une progression naturelle, c'est ce qu'il explique, c'est qu'il prend un classique, et puis derrière, il essaye d'y apporter sa patte, il essaye d'y apporter ce qu'il pense manquer à ce classique-là, sans aucune prétention. Et c'est ça aussi la marque de fabrique d'Adrien, c'est que ses créations sont vraiment intelligentes, il n'y a pas de prétention derrière, c'est ça qui est vraiment bien. Et puis au bout de quelques années, il a travaillé avec différentes méthodes de charge, et il a trouvé celle-ci, celle que vous avez entre les mains, qui est vraiment très bien, qui peut se faire avec ou sans empalmage, et du coup ça a vraiment cristallisé cette création et ça lui a donné son côté worker et le fait qu'on puisse la sortir. Après, évidemment, il a travaillé sur tout ce qui allait autour avec le packaging, etc. Mais c'est vraiment une super idée. It's a really cool trick because you have...
Sorry, Alexis, you are lying. I didn't say that. You are lying.
Il dit que je suis en train de mentir.
Sorry, I am silly. Sorry.
Problème. Il dit que je suis en train de mentir, mais il comprend pas le français, donc c'est bon. Ne vous inquiétez pas. But I will only say good things. You can have French people that speak Spanish to tell you that. No problem.
And
the idea with Polizza is that even if if you're working in many environments, you will be able to perform it because it requires palm or no palm. You can do it both, and it's very minimal pocket space. I think this is the kind of trick that ticks all the boxes because it can be easily performed without many work. Well, you have to put work in it, but you can easily master it without any problem. And I think it's very good because it's a bit theatrical too. Because you have a big paper, you can do it on stage, and it's something. It's really good. It's really good. That's why we created
that is the thing, no? It's because even as you told, no, it's a instant reset. So I was performing this in restaurant because when I was using one of the technique, I didn't have anything. So only I open the envelope, I take the card, I fold again, I put in my pocket, and I am ready again to go. So as you say, in a very small pocket space, I have a bigger trick, no?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you are doing cocktail and you have maybe 15, 20 people on the table, that sometimes it's very difficult to do a cocktail trick in that condition. I can do this because as you told, this is also a parlor trick or a stage trick. Mm-hmm. If you want to create a presentation, as you already saw in the trailer, when I throw all the cards, I try to find. So this is like a parlor idea, a parlor ad, or stage ad, and at the end I can reveal the card inside to the Polizza, and as you say, it's very versatile, no? Because it's practical and can play in different venues.
Yeah. So let me translate that. Donc ouais, ce qu'on disait, c'est que le tour est faisable dans beaucoup de conditions. Close-up, parlor, donc salon et la scène. Ça prend peu d'espace, c'est reset instantanément. Vous n'avez pas besoin forcément de faire un empalmage, vous pouvez le faire sans. Il y a beaucoup de techniques et beaucoup de choses qui font que ce tour est quelque chose de vraiment intéressant. Et the price too, the price it's not that expensive when you think about it. Le prix est vraiment abordable. Ça fait un bon... C'est rare, un peu comme Zoltar qu'on a en ce moment. C'est un vrai effet de worker à faire sur les gens et avec une vraie histoire. Literally, the insurance works like all the lines and the gag is inside. You don't have to do anything. Like the props do the work for you, so it's very good too. Donc,
and even you can play more with the lines, no? If you want to do more fun or more funny, you can play more with the lines. Or if you don't want like that, you can do faster and you can read only one and then open. So it's also a very fun trick that you can play with that, and you can show your personality with the trick, no?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the Polizza. Can you maybe talk about the Dextab 3 that is out, that was out like a few days ago?
Yesterday.
That's something, yeah.
Yeah. So this is another example that the things that I told you before, that when I am starting doing, when I learn magic, no, I always study the classic because it's the most important, no, for that. And then in my case, because it's funny for me or it's fun for me, I try to play with that classic and try to touch this classic and try to make it in a personal way. So for that reason I came with the idea of deck stab, because came from the old trick when you have a signed card in the deck, right? Mm-hmm. You put the deck inside to the card case, and you put now the card case inside to a paper bag, right? Maybe you already know the trick as well. And then when you have that in the paper with a knife, you try to stab from here, right? From here, and then bang, you have the signed card there, no? And then the deck is sealed and it's perfect. It's everything perfect, no? So in my case was, again, I was doing that for years, but I wanted to try to move and create something different with that idea, no? And I wanted to remove the paper bag. So I wanted to do the same trick without the paper bag. So like this, I can have I can understand the trick, because in the last version I didn't understand. No? I didn't understand what was the effect.
It didn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, when I remove the paper bag, I try again different method, and then until the end, I come up with the idea of really stab the deck. So I have a very visual moment with the knife around through the deck, and then when I do this movement, now for me makes sense, no? Because I really destroy all the cards except for the signed card, no? So again, I play with that idea like different years ago, and I start performing. Even in the trailer, you can see that I performed this trick in China TV, right? Like maybe 2 years ago, just before all these crazy things. So it's a trick, again, not like a very professional trick for me. It's a real worker that I perform in restaurant with some knife, some napkin. So in that moment, and on TV as well, no? So again, it's a real worker that you can use in different places, theater, restaurant for your friends, or even on TV, no? As I saw in the trailer.
That's good. Let me just translate that. Donc Dextab 3, c'est la troisième version de son tour Dextab. L'idée, c'était de prendre la carte au couteau classique, où vous avez une carte choisie, signée, tout est remis dans l'étui, vous posez l'étui dans un sac, et en fait, vous mettez l'étui dans le sac, et vous plantez au-dessus de là où est censé être l'étui, et il y a la carte qui sort, et l'étui est intact. Donc c'est une version qui existe depuis des années, qui a eu beaucoup de variations, et lui, il voulait vraiment quelque chose de plus pur, de plus logique en tout cas, et il s'est dit pourquoi pas de mettre le couteau directement dans le jeu et déchirer le jeu complètement, et d'avoir la seule carte, donc toutes les cartes sont détruites sauf la seule carte qui était signée, c'était celle du spectateur. Donc là c'est un vrai, allez voir le trailer parce qu'il le fait à la télé en Chine d'ailleurs, il explique, c'est vraiment magique, il met le couteau dans le jeu et c'est super visuel, on en parlera dans un prochain live. Et what's the difference between Dextab 3 and the other previous versions?
That is the idea. No? First, I have to say that also the version of the staff, no, the card staff from Gaetan Bloom, that is a genius,
exactly.
French. So I love it. So you can check as well that card staff. It really makes sense and it's great. But with my idea, this is just a touch, no, a personal touch from me, and the idea from the deck number 1 and then number 3.0, there is first, for first time we supply the really gimmick card, no? The gimmick deck, the gimmick idea, no? Because last time I shared this in different lecture with the other companies, but I didn't supply anything, no? The people has to do the work, no? For first time, you have everything ready to go. So after you open the box, you are ready to go, no? To perform this trick. The second change that for me is the most important change or improve of this trick is like now for first time, this is not just a trick, it's more or less a project, because I share all my ideas around this plot that I created years ago. I share all the handlings, new handlings, the very fooling handlings when you can really stab the deck without anything, without the card box, without anything. You just show the deck, the spectator sign, they can hold the knife and you do like that, and then everything is destroyed except for the card. And you can show both sides and everything is so clean. I share another ideas with the napkin. So if you are performing in restaurant that I was doing years ago, I only carry my deck and I take one of the napkin, I take one of the knives from the restaurant and I use my deck. So it's very organic way to perform the trick. I share different ideas with rubber band, aluminum foil. So now it's like a very, very complete trick. It's not just a trick that I share and that's it. Now I complete everything, no, like a project with all my ideas and touches that I was practicing and performing during this maybe 7-8 years.
So it's like the final word where we can never say final or we can never say never, but it should be your final words on the Dextab project.
Yeah, even as you say, I think for now it's the final, but maybe 10 years I come up with another idea. And I would love to have that, no? Because we say magic, no? Like sometimes we stop thinking very soon, no? Because we say, no, this is perfect, so let's go with another thing. No, maybe it is not perfect yet, no? Maybe in 10 years, because I change, my magic changed, so obviously the trick will change as well, or I hope that change and improve, no? And this is what we love about Magic.
Yeah.
Never is the final.
Sorry, I just don't say because I just have to think about what you said. So, l'idée de Gaëtan Bloom sur le Dextab, allez la voir, il l'a fait à la télé française apparemment. C'est une super bonne idée. Et là, l'avantage du Dextab 3 par rapport aux autres, déjà toutes les cartes sont fournies, fabriquées spécialement. Votre jeu truqué est fourni, vous êtes prêt à l'utiliser. Et vous avez en fait plus qu'un tour, un projet avec différentes idées, différents handlings. Vous allez pouvoir traverser le jeu sans rien, juste avec une petite serviette de restaurant ou même sans rien avec vos cartes. C'est très 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 bluffant et c'est surtout une super approche de la carte au couteau par Adrian Vega. Adrian, I don't know if you want to add anything for this interview to end it. Maybe we can talk about the future products, if we allowed.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit. Just keeping a little bit secret because we can have to wait, no, of that. But yes, in this year, although I will be more busy performing because we have different projects for this 2022, and that I will be hopefully traveling around the world with different projects, and I will be more busy performing. We have some ideas that we want to share again this year with the Magic community. One of them is, we don't say too much, but it's like a vanishing deck. No, I always that plot was one of my favorites. Like I try to banish the deck just to create the ending for my card routine. There are a lot of versions of that idea, but maybe in the near future I can share my personal touch about that vanishing deck. Also, I would like to share for first time as well my professional opener. That maybe it's an idea because it's really one of my favorite tweets that I want to give the love that deserves. So maybe in this year is the year, but we will see. But you have to stay in touch. You have to be stay tuned.
Magic Dream will be talking about that. No problem.
Yeah,
we will be talking about
it. Yeah.
Sorry?
So the only thing that I want to say is like again, all the things that I want to share, they are coming from the worker repertory, no?
Yeah.
And even for that reason, is good for me because when I share all these things, I need to create more because I want to be again more personal. So if I share this with the community, it's a very way for me like. Now I share this, so let me find out some new opener for my shows, and then after the year share again. So it's a very good way again. So if I need it to something for my show, I need to create something. So I don't create because I feel creative today. No. I try to create because I need it for the show.
Donc au niveau des créations, il a un projet d'un jeu qui disparaît. C'est un peu particulier parce qu'on peut pas trop en dire, mais c'est son approche ou c'est vraiment intéressant. Un jeu qui disparaît. Il y a vraiment des idées très subtiles et très intelligentes dans ce projet-là. Il a aussi son projet d'opener, donc de tour d'ouverture avec une carte pliée, c'est avec un foulard. Enfin, c'est vraiment très très intelligent. Il y a énormément de choses. Et puis lui, ce qu'il dit, c'est que plus il va créer, plus il va sortir de tour, plus ça va l'obliger à créer, puisque vu qu'il veut faire que des choses personnelles, dès qu'il sort quelque chose, tout le monde là, ce n'est plus personnel, du coup il est obligé de recréer encore, et ça c'est vraiment intéressant. Adrian, thank you so much for your time, for your passion of magic. You can feel it when you speak with you, so it's very it's like I think you can use this word anywhere, but the Spanish school of magic is one of the best in the world. I think it's the passion for the art is, you can feel it much more than anywhere else in the world. So thank you so much for your time. And
maybe because we have the master of love, no? That Juan Tamaris, Gaby Arturo
Ascanio. Yes, you have great ones.
The best.
Yes.
So thank you so much, guys. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. Thank you for your support and anything you need. I am here sharing our passion.
Et
thank you, guys.
N'hésitez pas, si vous avez des questions à poser à Adrian Vega, mettez-les dans les commentaires, on lui passera et on copie-collera ses réponses. Avec grand plaisir, on se donne rendez-vous demain pour 1 minute, vendredi pour un live, comme d'habitude sur Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Magic Dream est sur tous les réseaux sociaux, n'hésitez pas à nous rejoindre partout. À très bientôt, bye bye, au revoir.